Uh, Hi. Um, I want to yap again and talk about some more bullshit. Um, last week was pretty rough for me. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, and not even last week. I've been in a little pit, but doing this has kind of made it like a little bit better. And then, like a few days ago, I went out with some friends, and I kind of realized, like, yo, fuck am I saying for? And I think that happens a lot, not only for me, but like a whole bunch of people. And I kind of just want to talk about that. I'm stuffy as shit right now. So if I sound weird, that's why. But like, basically, bro, this shit is dumb. Like, we be getting sad about nothing. Like, everything could be going good, and like your mindset could still be fucking with you. And I try to like think more positive and all that shit, and stay like motivated and all that shit. But like a lot of the times, like, bro, inspiration isn't gonna find you. You have to like actively search for it. And even at times where like inspiration is hard to come by, staying motivated is probably one of like the best things you can do. And it's so much easier just to say that than to like actually, oh fuck, I'm hella stuffy, but like I'm sorry. Um it's so much easier to like say that than actually practice it. Um, you know, I was really motivated in other things for the first time in a while. Normally I'm very like creatively oriented. I'm always trying to like, I'm worrying about music, art and all that stuff. And obviously I'm still super motivated about that, but that stuff kind of played more of like a backseat, um, because I was worrying about like real world shit, like how the fuck these bills gonna get paid, man, and like careers and shit like that. So I've been grinding at my job. I'm gonna blow my nose. I'm still a person, and I'm not gonna edit this. So I'm sorry, but I'm not editing it. I don't edit these videos, and I don't plan to. I just kind of like yapping at a camera. Um, yeah, I was really focused on like career shit and like, grinding at my job, working a shit ton of overtime and really like pushing myself. And that's good. I've been seeing a lot of progress in that, but also kind of, in the same sense, I kind of lost myself. Like, not lost myself, but, I lost, kind of like, humans are, you know, a thing of habit, a thing of comfort, and comfort really scares me. I'm not gonna lie. So I've been like, once I get comfortable somewhere, I like tend to run from that. But I've been working really hard and then, I went out with some friends and it was really nice. Um First time I like genuinely smiled in a while and like felt really happy. And I know a lot of people some people don't have that like support system, and like that shit's rough. You have to honestly seek it. You have to find it, and like making connection. I said it in like I think this was either my first or second video. I feel like we all need to like be connected. You know what I mean? Connection is so hard to come by. Authentic people are hard to come by. So, when you find that and you like build that relationship, it's really I say treasure that, not things won't last forever. You know what I mean? Friendships don't last forever. But while you have your friends, while you have people around you that like kind of have the similar mindset and like, you know what I mean? Treasure that shit because, even some of my closest friends, we have different point of views. We look at things differently. If you just surround yourself around with people that are exactly like you can never grow. I'm not saying be friends with somebody where you completely don't agree with them, but like you could never agree with anything with somebody and y'all could still kick it and still be, you could learn from them, they can learn from you, or even if you aren't learning from each other, just kicking it with somebody that has opposing views is nice sometimes. Sometimes you don't want to hear the same talking points you've been hearing all week. Um, but yeah, it's just weird. I don't like talking about like myself and like the shit, all that. But I went out with some friends that that I think it was like a Wednesday or some shit. I ain't seen my friend in a minute, and we kind of butted heads because I've been fully just engulfed in work, and like I really just I was in a pit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was really just focusing on, priorities and things that like I really a lot of the times I do that with everything. Art, music, I'm really hard on myself. So, if I'm not like making a song or if I'm not, creating something that day or, making clothes, drawing or doing something, I really beat myself up about it because I'm like, oh, that was time wasted and whoop de whoop. But it's not good to look like that. You can't be working 24/7. You can't, you know what I mean, work all day, come home and then work some more. You got to like there's a balance, you know what I mean? And it's difficult to balance that. And a lot of the times, I wasn't balancing that. I was putting my priorities was, being creative and, not losing myself in that. And I'm still very adamant on that, but it's more just like I need to learn how to balance those things. And then I had that conversation with my friend where we almost like, I got really defensive. I'm not gonna lie. Cause he texted me in the group chat and all that shit. We made plans and, I got home and knocked the fuck out. And, just like full transparency, he called me out on it and I got defensive because, you know what I mean? I've been busting my ass. I've been going through shit and, you know what I mean? And then literally not even like 5 minutes later, we texted each other separately. We talked about it. We had like a grown man conversation about it, being like, look, you know, I fucked up for snapping on you and, coming at you some type of way. And he was on some like, yeah, I was wrong for, coming at you that way. I understand you got, things you're worrying about, but bro, I just miss hanging out with my friends. And that's real as fuck. Cause like, it's not like I don't want to hang out with, with my homies and shit. It's literally just we all been busy and shit. So, allotting that time and creating that like time to, just chill and like be comfortable with just kind of not working, not doing something. It's hard, but I feel like it's needed because if you're constantly on go 24/7, you hear everybody being like, "Oh, you're gonna burn yourself out," and da 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 da. It does happen, but it's not even just that. It's like you have to, in order to be present, you kind of have to let go of all that other shit. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't be present. Like I be in the moment and I be hanging out with people and I be doing shit and going out and shit. But like even if I'm out somewhere, I'm like, damn, I gotta do this and do that. I should be recording right now. I should be doing this and that and da 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 da. Da. And it's not a bad thing to think like that, but it's just that can't be a 24/7 type of thing. You know what I mean? There has to be balance with it. And even, just yesterday, hanging out, when I went out with like my group of friends, it was literally like a few days ago. But even yesterday, I hung out. One of my friends, just me and him, just solo. Went out. We went to the shooting range. That was the first time he shot a gun. It was super fucking fun. We went out, got something to eat. We literally just hung out, bro. We just kicked it and we talked and we fucking were people. You know what I mean? I wasn't sitting here telling him, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and, I'm working on this project right now and I'm doing this and I need to get this done. All that shit just got stripped away and we literally were just two friends hanging out in the moment. And I think that's what really kind of got me to this point wanting to talk about this because I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed just like kicking it and just not worrying about all the other shit. And I'm kind of realizing I need to learn how to balance not only just like my work life, my social life, but also just like learning how to be comfortable but not content, if that makes sense. I think being comfortable has always scared me because I've always been on go. And then the people that I've met that have been comfortable in their life, they don't really, they're content where they're at. They don't want more. They don't want to do bigger things or they don't have like other visions of, I, I don't want to say goals, but they don't have like the hunger, bro. I'm hungry. I want to do a whole bunch of shit. And I'll be damned if I let some fucking job stop me from doing that. I'll be damned if I let a social circle stop me from doing that. And that's another thing. You have to be real with yourself. If your friend group is like not motivating you, and this doesn't even come to like friend groups, this just comes around people that that are around you. If people don't want genuinely what's best for you, I think it's best to distance yourself because a lot of the times working on yourself is a solo thing. It's not going to be a group project where you want to get better and you get everybody to get better with you at the same time. Everybody works at their own pace. Everybody, grows up at their own pace and all that shit. So genuinely, when you're ready to make big steps and other people aren't there with you, it can be scary, but doing it solo or doing it, kind of your own way will show you and it'll also motivate your friends. It'll also motivate your circle, seeing that, okay, you know what, he's going out and doing it. Why am I not doing it? And then y'all can all do it as a group. But like making that first step can be super intimidating, but it has to be taken. You know what I mean? Um, I was like, I was really overwhelmed and I was like really hard on myself about really nothing. Because a lot of the times it's, constructs and like things that I'm putting on myself, being like, yo, I need to get this done by this time, or I want to do this and I want to do that. And it can be it's good to have those like goals. It's good to have that for yourself, but it can be like poison for like, it could literally be poison to your happiness because you constantly feel like you're not doing enough and you constantly feel like you could be doing something else while you're doing something. So, you know, um, while it's hard to stay motivated and it's hard to stay true to yourself and all that, nah, it's not hard to stay true to yourself. Always be you, man. Fuck that. It's hard to stay motivated and it's hard to stay like goal oriented. And when I say goal oriented, I mean the goals you've wanted since you were like a kid. You know what I mean? A lot of the times people let that stuff take a backseat because of the real world shit that they be going through. Like I said, people got to pay bills, people got mouths to feed, people got, you know what I mean, people they care about and they want to see do better. It can be really hard to tend to that stuff. But if you got a hobby, if you got something that interests you, fucking feed that hobby, nourish that hobby and don't let that shit fade away. That's like one of my biggest fears is that I'm old and I'm just worrying about like, oh, I wish I did this and I wish I did that. And, I'm not saying go take a risk, you know what I'm saying? But go take a risk, man. A lot of the times you're the only thing that's stopping yourself. I think I blow my nose again. Yeah, I'm about to sit through this. Hold on. This video's getting long as fuck. um, you know what I mean? Uh, you're really the only thing that's stopping you. And um, don't don't fall into normalcy. Don't let somebody tell you you can't do something, and don't get comfortable, man. I ain't gonna lie. Comfort is nice, but comfort kills creativity, man. Stay creative, stay making stuff, stay doing cool shit, and Also, bro. I just want to say thank you, thank you for everybody that's watching these, bro. These has got like way more. It's weird as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't looked at the numbers, but I see people leaving comments. I see people like the views and all that stuff. It means the world. Honestly, I'm just turning on the camera and yapping, but it means the world. Like even the little support I'm seeing right now, it means like thank you, Brad. And if I can inspire anybody to do anything, again, I'm just a crazy guy that yaps to the camera and draws and makes music. But if I can inspire anybody to do anything, please stay creative, go outside, hang out with some friends, and just have fun. Life is too serious 24/7. Don't abandon your responsibilities, but also allow some time for yourself and have fun. Even if you're older, you know, go outside, walk around, smoke a joint, be a kid again. Like just even if it is for like 30 minutes, a bit like just let go for a little bit. But then, you gotta come back and lock in. We all gotta lock in. We all gotta get this money. We all got responsibilities. But do not let that stop you from having fun. I'm gonna stop this video because it's like 15 minutes, but Thank you for watching. Bye. Bye.